28 three-pointers. No, that is not, I did not misspeak. The Golden State Warriors made 28 three-pointers tonight in their preseason game. I know it was preseason, but still, in their preseason game against the Sacramento Kings. Hey, let's talk about, along with that record, that amazing NBA record, which doesn't count because, again, it was preseason. But look, that's totally beyond the point. Let's talk about this awesome night for the Warriors, because it was a really good night. The Warriors have only had two preseason games, and they've both been really good games. So let's look at what they have done. Let's look at some of the things that I really liked from the Golden State Warriors, some things that really stood out too. Okay, number one, of course, 28 three-pointers. Yes, and that it's not like they were just heaving away, right? They were all really good shots. Again, they were all good shots. And that's evidenced by the fact that I believe they made like about 54% of those threes that they took. That's an insane clip. If the Warriors make that many in the regular season, then they'll like win the championship. Larry O'Brien will be back in the Bay. But that is like so far ahead. I'm getting way ahead of myself. But this performance by the Warriors, by this team, is definitely indicative of their potential, right? It is for sure, like they are for sure capable of shooting lights out, as evidenced by tonight when they shot absolutely lights out. And it wasn't just one player, right? It wasn't just like Buddy Hield and Steph. Draymond made a few, I believe. Jonathan Kuminga was making threes. Melton was making 4 threes, I believe. So it was all around, and that's indicative of just some good basketball being played, right? Shots aren't being forced, and the Warriors are taking the good three. What I liked, Buddy Hield, good grief, Buddy Hield going back to Sacramento and conquering the Kings, slaying them in their own court. No, anyway, in their own court. Regardless, okay, 22 points in 19 minutes. 22 points in 19 minutes. He was amazing with the second team and with the second unit. I really hope that Buddy Hield is the leader of that second unit. Or at least offensively. I hope that he's that offensive spark plug. How about this? Just look across the court. Look at the other. I think that Buddy Hield can have a Malik Monk type impact on the Warriors bench. That is saying so much. That is asking a whole lot of Buddy Hield. But this one I'm saying, I believe, wasn't Malik Monk like the 6th man of the year last season or something like that? Anyways, Malik Monk is known to be one of the best 6 men in the league, and he provides that spark. He provides energy, but he provides like that spark, and he can go and get buckets for that second unit. If Buddy Hield can do that successfully, can get buckets for the Warriors' second unit, there's a lot of good defenders on this squad, right? So I think that they can do a lot of damage, and that Buddy Hield on offense might be able to float Steph for just a little bit at spots when Steph needs to friggin' rest because he's only one man, right? I don't see the value defensively in putting Buddy Hield in the starting lineup. I believe that Hield in the same backcourt-ish with Steph would be incredibly susceptible, and I don't know if Buddy Hield is like long enough necessarily to like play the 3 consistently. I think that he's a 2 threes, but he can go down and he can go up, like, right? He can go to the 1 a little bit and he can play the 3, but I think that with the Warriors, if we can have Buddy Hield taking wide open 3-pointers and creating for others, and then making the open shot, creating the open shot and making those open shots, I think that he has a chance to really stick. And I hope that that's why, because like he chose the Warriors, I believe, over the Lakers. I hope that he was sold on something like that he has the chance to be like that 6 man, that spark for a potentially a playoff, hopefully, team and like a contending team. Let's move on. D'Anthony Melton, wow. So D'Anthony Melton did like what GP2 does, maybe plus, honestly, right? D'Anthony Melton made 4 threes tonight, and he's a good shooter. He is. I think he's 36% overall on his career. He's good, and he can create off the dribble a lot better than I thought he could. The way that DeAnthony Melton, I know this is going to sound weird, but I think that we're going to see it more. The way that DeAnthony Melton flows within the Warriors, within the construct of the Warriors scheme on offense, and the way that he's able to just point of attack defense and get a little bit of the clamps on defense, that is so conducive to the way that the Warriors play. I think, gosh, this is what we have to do. And I haven't done it. I rarely ever do it, right? I'm looking at this, and Buddy Hield and DeAnthony Melton were 2 players that really stood out. Interesting. They were 2 of the Warriors' additions this offseason. By who? Mike Dunleavy Jr. So, whereas I absolutely destroy that man so much for his inactivities, trades are hard, man. We have to give credit to Mike Dunleavy Jr. We absolutely have to give credit to MDJ. Buddy Hield and DeAnthony Melton, they look like consummate Warriors, and I hope that they can play. I mean, I hope that they are. This is saying a lot. They have a place on this team going forward. That's saying a lot. Okay, let's move on. Brandin Podziemski. Oh, my boy Pods, man. 8 points, 4 boards, 2 steals, I believe, 8 assists, though. He's got the goggles, man. Brandin Podziemski, I think I said he's great and confident and strong on the ball. What I mean is it's hard to steal the ball from Brandin Podziemski. And also, oh my gosh, his vision, his ability to orchestrate and create for others is it's just awesome. Created an early basket for Draymond early on. I believe also Kuminga. And then he had a great pass to Moses Moody for the 4-point play, right? In the corner. Brandin Podziemski, it's ridiculous that he's able to make these plays. 8 assists with only 1 turnover, and the turnover was one of those he was trying to make a full court, one-handed touchdown pass to Kyle Anderson to slow-mo. Maybe he should have just retreated. Maybe he should tuck that one this time. But no, 8 assists to 1 turnover. We'll take that every day, and that's what happens. You win when that happens, okay? The result is going to be a win when you have players like Brandin Podziemski getting 8 assists, getting everybody engaged in the game, also getting 8 points but to himself too, so it's not like he's getting 1 point, right? But also just 1 turnover. Absolutely, that's what I'm talking about. Who else shined? Lindy Waters, wow, LW3. LW3. What the heck, man? Lindy Waters can stroke it. 9 points, an easy 9 points, 3 of 5, and he hunkers down in defense. He doesn't seem like the biggest guy. Doesn't seem, but he can hold his own and hold his space on defense. And oh my gosh, the thing that I liked, okay, I think is 3 of 5. So he's just amazing 3-point shooter. He's a sniper. Lindy Waters, the third, what a steal. The issue with Lindy Waters is going to be, again, I said this with Moses Moody in his video. I think that one of the issues is going to be getting him on the court. He is so good, though. He is really good. He has a shot. And I know that because the Kings announcers, I was listening to the Kings broadcast. I couldn't get the Dubs one. Anyways, they were impressed. They were like, oh, interesting, because his shot is pure. You can tell a shooter. And he is absolutely a shooter. But here's what I love the most. This is what I really like about Lindy Waters, okay? This is what I really like. And you'll have to watch the game to see it. Is that everybody knew he was a shooter. The defense, the Kings were honing in on him because he's a shooter, right? Okay. He made a couple threes, but then it was what he did with his powers. When he used his powers for good, y'all. When he got the gravity, when defenders were flowing to Lindy Waters because he was making so many buckets, Lindy Waters created for others. And that is the ultimate. That's how you win. That's how you win. Lindy Waters, I think one time he pump faked, had a good shot, then pump faked again, and passed it off for a better shot, what ended up to be a better shot for a teammate because defenders have to come out to him, right? They have to extend to Lindy Waters, and he used that power for good. He wasn't just trying to chuck. We love that. That's called efficiency, and we love that. Hey, last but not least, who I really loved, of course I got to say it, Jonathan Kuminga. Jonathan Kuminga, my old friend. So I've been so up and down with Jonathan Kuminga, right? And I think that he had a good night. He had a really solid night, and we have to talk about his good times and his positives because I'm really critical of Jonathan Kuminga. He has so much potential, and it is very frustrating when like a player, like for example, like Brandin Podziemski, he comes in and you can tell he just gets the game. He gets it, man. And he's been in the league for a year and a half, whereas Kuminga's in his fourth year now, and you can still see that the game, it hasn't slowed down 100%, whatever you want to say. He's not as good at the game as Podziemski is at the game of basketball. I wish that made more sense. But if we look at basketball, it's just, you can tell that Podziemski has gotten better at his craft and is limited. Because Podziemski was actually, I believe he was baseball primarily growing up and switched to basketball later on, right? You can just tell he's good at games. Like this. How about this? Stop. Okay, this is sort of what I mean. Like, if you, like the way that Podziemski plays, I think that he would like be a good like just board game player or something like that, because it seems like he's good at and can diagnose and is good at problem solving. How about that? How about that? If the game is just, and we break it down a game into problem solving, right? Which basketball it can be. You're problem solving on the fly. Podziemski is really, really freaking good at that. Has a great tactical mind and the skills to boot. So, but Jonathan Kuminga, 16 points, +7, didn't like the fouls, 4 1/2. Didn't like that. Really, really liked the couple three-pointers, the three-pointers made, and just he kept at it. He kept at it, and that's what we gotta ask, you know? Okay. Good perimeter defense for the Warriors, not great. In order for the Warriors to win consistently at the highest level, they're going to have to their perimeter defense is going to have to be great. Now, I believe that Sacramento only shot like 25% from the three, but that's not necessarily what I'm talking about with the perimeter defense. The point of attack defense needs to be a little bit better. There was too much penetration by Sacramento, and this is what happens. When the Warriors aren't a big squad, okay? Like literally, I mean, technically post, but Looney and Trace Jackson-Davis are like the tallest players on the squad. When you can't allow that type of penetration because the rim protection isn't necessarily there. Does Looney and TJD provide rim protection? Absolutely, but it's not necessarily sufficient, right? Like they're not Andrew Bogut back there actually protecting the rim and protecting the cup like an aircraft carrier type center, like a bigger guy. So the rim protection isn't going to be there, so the point of attack defense really needs to be solid, okay? But yeah, let's see. Takeaway. This team has the pieces, man. First of all, they're undefeated and playing well, so we have to give them the benefit of the doubt. I defer to the Warriors now until they start losing a bunch of games. They have won multiple games. They haven't lost, and they're playing good basketball. Therefore, I defer. Like, of course, I want to see them get Giannis. I want to see them get everybody. I want them to get Joel Embiid, then Giannis, then Booker, then Durant. I want all the good players on the Warriors, man. I wanted everyone, right? The friggin', what is that movie? The Professional. Anyways, as I'm just digressing like crazy. Okay. Anyways, they've earned the benefit of the doubt. However, and we have to listen to where I'm saying with this. Okay. It's up to the Warriors whether they want to extend Jonathan Kuminga, right? But just real quick, I would strongly look, if I were the Warriors, very strongly consider bundling the likes of Gary Payton II, of GP2, Moody, Kuminga, and a future pick, like 2 future first rounders, but not this draft. 2 future firsts. And this is going to be tough. I know that everybody's like, why are you obsessed with this guy? I'm not obsessed with him. It's the aspect, it's the look that he gives that I really like. And this is it for like, they could use those players, package those duplicate players, right? Like Melton is sort of taking he's going to take a lot of GP2's minutes, honestly. Like in the battle of Moody versus Lindy Waters, honestly, Lindy Waters is winning that battle. So here's the thing. The Warriors have these assets and they still have time to consolidate their assets and get a more talented player, and also a talented player who also fits bar none. And there's not going to be any questions. Now, one player who I do see fitting, and they probably wouldn't take that much, is Kelly Olynyk, okay? Kelly O, for sure. He's 33 years old. He can shoot. He's a good rebounder. He's an underrated passer, and I know he's a big that can play within the Warriors system. And I know what people are saying. He's not Dario Saric. He is not Dario Saric, okay? Like, I love Dario just as much, but like, Kelly Olynyk is better, okay? He is good. He's a very solid player, and he could provide that different look, a big off the bench who has a little bit more size. He's like a solid 6'10", 6'11". Okay, the other player, and I know, the other player that I'm going to talk about, of course, they're like a really low, they're like lower, like there's like anyway, so the other one I was talking about, honestly, was Alperen Sengun again. I don't know if the Rockets want to pay him, and if the Warriors were going to pay either, this is a false dichotomy, but if they were to either pay Sengun or Jonathan Kuminga, you do Sengun all day, every day because of the look that he gives. 2 looks. This is what he does. He gives you the singles all day. So down low, he can get buckets all freaking day underneath that basket. Just boom, boom, easily. So he can get those singles that Steve Kerr was always talking about, right? Because you're not always going to get the home runs, those 3-pointers. He can get those singles. And also he really rebounds and passes. I think he got 5 assists a game. One more time. Alperen Sengun gets like 5 assists per game. So like when we're looking at that and we are gauging value, like for the Warriors, and I'm just going to say this, I would value, I know, like he's not perfect. And I don't think that he's a perfect player. I don't think that he's perfect for the Warriors. But I would value in Alperen Sengun over Kuminga for those reasons. Because, number one, he's not the worst defender. He doesn't have the greatest rim protection either. Can really get steals. He's got amazing hands. But Sengun can get baskets under the bucket and also rebound. And he's a way better passer than Kuminga. Again, he gets 5 assists a game, right? So, like, if the Warriors were to swap a Kuminga for a Sengun, or even a Gary Payton II and Moses Moody for Kelly Olynyk, guys, I'm not asking for the world here. And also, I don't have some anti-Kuminga agenda. What did I just say? GP2 and Moody. I love Moody. Anyways, but we're talking about giving the Warriors the most looks and the best looks. Now, if you could play 7 players on the court at one time, I would love the Warriors roster construction. You can't, though. You can only play 5. So because you can only play 5, the Warriors really, or they're going to end up letting somebody go, they're just going to end up losing value. In order to regain all of their value, I highly suggest that the Warriors take all the components that are duplicated and or don't fit. Right now, I would consider those components to be Moody, GP2, and JK, and try to upgrade using those as a core. Because, honestly, in a game, GP2 and Moody might get do not plays, so you're really like swapping Kuminga for somebody. Not the best thing either, but here's the thing. I'm always thinking ahead. I'm just thinking of making the Warriors a more complete team, because some of the only things that I don't see with this squad, rim protection and size, okay? Point of attack defense, I think that they can be okay with that, but the size is going to be tough because a big that can seal well, and I'm going to say this one more time, this is so important, and if you've been here for 20 minutes, like, you deserve this. a big that can seal against the Warriors on offense is way too productive. So like a Zubac last game got 14 points easily. You can't have a big of moderate skill beat you just because of his size and he can seal you off. Sealing you off means that he is able to get in between you and the basket, and then you're at his back, so like you can't block the ball at all, right? And he'll be able to, and bigs will be able to do that because they're big. So look, I'm not asking for the Warriors to, I'm not actually asking them to do anything right now. They're doing super well. Dub Nation, you should friggin' celebrate this 28 3-pointers. Hey, we're doing well. I really like what I see going on right here. And my hope for the Warriors going forward is they need to really finish this preseason strong, because the regular season, gosh, those first 10 games are gettable. And I'll tell you what, the narrative will change around the Warriors if they start out hot, okay? Things will start to get easier and the narrative will change. I really hope it happens. They are on the right track. Dubs fans, Warriors fans, we have nothing to gripe about right now whatsoever. My only thing, like my whole thing of trying to get them a big is just so that they're more diverse, so that, like they have more of a foundation around the basket. And that's it though, right? I am so impressed by what I see, and this is good basketball being played. Look at that. I don't know if you can see that. You see the goosebumps? I don't know if you can see that. Anyways, because this is good basketball that's being played by the Warriors, and that's all that we can ask for. So 28 threes, hey, that's what we're talking about. Keep on going. Keep on chugging right there, Warriors. Hey, thanks so much. Who are you most excited about to see for this preseason, and who are you most excited for to see on the Warriors that's new come regular season? Let me know. Like, subscribe. Hey, thanks so much. It's so fun interacting with you. It's so fun interacting with fellow Warriors fans and the whole community. So thank you. See you next time. It's C-Train Station.